Hey guys, my name is Haley and today I'm going to be filming a November TBR. I didn't think I would be filming a November TBR, but apparently as about halfway through October I started planning what I was going to read after spooky season when I was done reading all of the spooky books that I had planned to read, which I read spooky books and thrillers and horror all year round, so that will continue, just not quite as condensed. And I was putting off a bunch of Doctor Who stuff that I want to read until I was done with my spooky TBR, which I am done with now because I filmed my wrap up. So I don't really have a theme for normal like reading plans. I don't normally theme my reading. I just kind of read whatever when it comes in, like on audio, or if I happen to own the book, whatever I feel like reading. I'm usually very much a mood reader, but I have, again, apparently already made a TBR for this month, so I'm gonna film it. And first off, we're just gonna start with all of the Doctor Who stuff. As you can see, I have a Doctor Who corner going on over here, so we're going to start with those. Because I have a problem, and I'm still watching Doctor Who. I am now on Capaldi's Doctor, and I forgot how much I actually really like his Doctor, so I'm going to start off with Matt Smith's big ol' bind-up. I also would like to buy Capaldi's bind-up, but I'm going to start off with his, and then I'm also going to continue. These are so heavy. I'm also going to continue with David's graphic novels after his bind-up, which I read last month. And so I bought the, I was gonna say trade paperback, but that is the wrong term because these are obviously not paperback. I think they're called trades. I'm not as familiar with graphic novels, so if anybody knows what these are called, please let me know because I'm drawing a blank. But this is issue 4, or like collection 4, called The Endless Song, because I really liked the companion that Tennant's Doctor has, and then volume 5, which is Arena of Fear, and I have also ordered volumes 6 and 7, so these are pretty short. They're not going to take me very long to read, I can imagine, so I'm going to fly through these and then finish off Tennant's arc probably before I get to Matt's, and we'll probably do the same by finishing off his by ordering his trades. I need to stop ordering Doctor Who stuff, but I physically can't. And then essentially I'm just gonna go in order of the Doctor Who books that are released, except I'm going to start off out of order and start with all of Ten and Rose's books, because I have already read a long time ago. I have already read The Stone Rose, which apparently is one of the first ones. So I'm going to go back and read the first 2, I found bind-ups of the audiobooks for Eccleston's Doctor, so the 9th Doctor. And so there is the first volume 1 bind-up of Eccleston's stories with him and Rose, and then the second bind-up of Eccleston's stories with him and Rose. So I'm going to listen to those 2 audiobooks, and then I'm going to read these basically in order. So I have The Feast of the Drowned, The Nightmare of Black Island. I love how tiny and cheesy these are. Like, they're so small, and the covers are so cheesy and early 2000s. And this one is The Art of Destruction, then The Price of Paradise. So those are all of the Ten and Rose ones, and I literally ordered them. I could have read them like on ebook, but I ordered them because if I'm going to enjoy any of these Doctor Who stories, it's probably going to be Ten and Rose. So yeah, I did buy them preemptively. And then the rest of the Doctor Who books, because there's like literally 60 of them, I'm not going to order all of them. I'm not going to do that to myself. I don't have room for that, and I probably won't like all of them. So I'm going to read those on ebook or audiobook if there is an audiobook available. I'm basically only listening to them on audio if David Tennant is reading them, or Catherine Tate, because I really love Catherine Tate. And so I'm basically just going to be reading Doctor Who forever, but they're all so short that they're not going to take me very long to read. And then I also bought Beautiful Chaos simply because I was told that Wilfred is in this, which, if you want my second favorite Doctor Who character of all time, other than my second favorite companion, who is Clara, my second favorite character in Doctor Who is Wilfred Mott, who is Donna's grandfather. So I bought this literally just because of Wilfred. Even though it is not in the same order of these, it's like many books ahead. And then because I am unhealthily obsessed with Doctor Who, I've done something that I have never done before in my life, and that's because I can't find them anywhere. And that is, I bought a set of audiobooks, like physical CD audiobooks, which I never saw myself doing, but because if there's one thing that you want to know about me with Doctor Who, if you don't care about Doctor Who, I swear I will talk about more books in like a minute. Hold on. I do have other books I want to read next month. I have always wanted a spin-off, not only of Rose in the Metacrisis 10th Doctor, but I want to know what Rose was doing in the time she was stuck on the parallel dimension. And that's exactly what this is. It's her, Jackie, Pete Tyler, and this dude whose name I don't remember, who's in like the very first episode of the new Who. So we have The Endless Night, The Flood, Ghost Machines, and The Last Party on Earth. And this is called the Dimension Canon because this is how Rose builds the canon to travel between worlds when the world is ending to get back to the Doctor. And I'm a huge nerd for even like wanting that to exist, but it does, and so I bought it on eBay. Alright. I just talked about Doctor Who for 7 minutes. Somebody needs to stop me. And then as far as other books that are happening that I do want to read next month, some of which I already have out on audio because I had them as holds for the end of October, so they came in as soon as it hit that hold point. First being Where Dreams Descend. This has been pitched as Moulin Rouge meets the Phantom of the Opera. And I literally heard that and I was like, that sounds way too good to be true. I don't know if I've ever mentioned, Moulin Rouge is my favorite movie of all time and has been since I was like 12. It's the saddest movie. It's the reason I love sad endings and like don't really like happy endings in a lot of things. It's so sad. It's basically a movie musical. It got made into an actual musical like last year with Aaron Tveit. And this was pitched with Moulin Rouge and Phantom of the Opera. Phantom has always been one of my top 5 favorite musicals of all time. So when I heard that pitch, I was like, that sounds too good to be true. I don't believe that. And then Chelsea, from Chelsea Palmer, who reads a lot of different genres of stuff, read this, fell in love with it. She also is the biggest fan of Moulin Rouge and loves the Phantom of the Opera. And she said that's exactly what this is. And I was like, oh no. I'm gonna love this. So I'm scared that this is gonna become one of my favorite books of the year. And I already have too many favorite books of the year and don't know how I'm gonna rank them. So I have this out and I'm honestly terrified to read it because I think I'm going to absolutely adore it. Hopefully. If not, I will be severely disappointed because my like expectations are like all the way up here. Next up, I have Leave the World Behind. I honestly can't remember what this is about. I think it's like, it's supposed to be horror. And I know it deals with a lot of like real world issues within this horrifying like situation. I know it's like new people move into a new neighborhood or something and there's a lot of like prejudices happening and like racial issues and all of that, and then this somehow coalesces into a horror novel. But when I heard somebody talk about this at the beginning of October, I immediately added it to my to read list and the hold has just come in, so I'm going to read this even though I don't know that much about it. And then because my love for this man has been rekindled in the last couple of weeks because I watched his episodes of that he's in Doctor Who, and I'm gonna read James Corden's memoir called May I Have Your Attention Please, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not know he had a memoir, but I was thrilled to find out that he does. James Corden is one of the funniest people on this planet in my personal opinion, and I'm so excited that he's a memoir, and I think it's gonna be hilarious and it's gonna be a great time. And then on a very different note, I found out that a book exists that talks a lot about what happened in Wuhan, China when COVID started, and that is called Wuhan Diary. And I'm very excited to read this. I think it's gonna be kind of horrifying and terrible, and I've been looking for a good COVID, not biography, what's the word? Like a good nonfiction thing talking about COVID, because I feel like the ones that did exist were like cheesy and really rushed because it was so new months ago, and now I feel like that we're at a point that I feel like, and especially since this starts at the epicenter of like where this all started last year, enough time has evolved that we will have a more cohesive exploration of this. So the fact that it focuses on Wuhan is what's making me very interested in it. And I've heard this has gotten like pretty good ratings, so I'm really excited to read it. And then 3 more random ones just because why not? And two of them came out recently, so I'm just gonna read them now while the hype is up. The first being Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. I have loved every Fredrik Backman that I've read. I love his writing. I've heard very mixed things about this because it's like not what you would expect from a Backman novel, so I'm very interested in that. Not sure what I'm gonna think of it, but I'm definitely gonna try it out because I love his books. And then another one I'm really scared about because I've heard such mixed things, and that is One by One by Ruth Ware. I'm terrified because I have never bothered to read another Ruth Ware because I've heard her older books are not as good, and she hasn't come out with anything since The Turn of the Key, which was one of my favorite books of last year, and it might be one of my favorite thrillers of all time. So I'm scared I'm gonna hate this because a lot of people who do really like Ruth Ware also did not like it. So I'm going into this with my expectations on the ground. And then I plan on reading The Bone Witch, which is by Rune Shepeko, because I read her Girl from the Well series. I think there's only 2 books right now. Duology this past month, and absolutely love them. So I'm definitely going to check out her other books. And The Bone Witch is the only other one of hers that I know about. So yeah, that is the November TBR. Who am I? I'm turning into a TBR person. This is a plot twist of 2020 I did not see coming, as with many other things in 2020, but I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you all for watching. If you want to talk about Doctor Who, as I've been mentioning in like the last 6 videos, I will gladly chat about it down below. Let me know what you're reading this month, and I will see all of you guys next time.